What is going on, everybody? After a week off, we didn't record last week, but we are back. Scoundrels Talk the Pigskin. We are here to give you all the hot news and our takes on anything and everything going on in the NFL. I think only Sturm did picks for last week. I didn't, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, it's our bye week. We'll call it our bye week.
Our bye week. How we doing, gentlemen?
Doing good, Logan. How are you doing, man?
Outstanding. No complaints. Things are good. The NFL is interesting. There's parity. We had some upsets this week.
And there's no longer any more 6-0 teams either. All the undefeated teams that were 5-0 or whatever lost this week. So
yep, no more undefeated teams. It is done. That
means the Chiefs are tied for first.
Yes, we will not forget that. So I think what we were talking about this off air. So what do we think we're going to do, folks? We're going to change the format a little bit because it gets a little time consuming for all of us to do a dive into last week's games. If you're an NFL fan, you know who won, you know who lost. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover some of the big news and topics that are going on in the world of the NFL. And the first one I wanted to do a quick brief mention on, and if you guys have any stories as well, is Julio Jones signed a 1-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Let me ask you, Logan, did he play last year? He played for Tennessee, didn't he?
Tennessee, I believe it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wasn't good. I think he's hit his.
He's past his prime, right?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Maybe he's 34, past his prime, but he's still a reliable pass catcher, and now he's teamed back up with A.J. Brown, and they played together in Tennessee.
So why is Julio Jones without a contract up until week 7, and now all of a sudden? And why do the Eagles even need him? Did they have any injuries in their game last week?
Yeah, Quez Watkins is on injured reserve with a. That was a kind of a reliable target for Jalen Hurts, and then you look at what happened against the Jets, and it's not a shock that Philadelphia made a move. I mean, you lost to the Jets, who didn't even have their 2 starting corners. I mean, Sauce Gardner wasn't even out on the field. And they still harassed Jalen Hurts, and he threw 3 picks. So it doesn't surprise me that the Eagles went that route. It's still a tough division. They got to deal with the Cowboys. They got to deal with San Francisco. There's still some threats in the NFC, and I think they're seeing a weakness, and they filled it. They filled a hole.
Yeah. How many of you guys had the Eagles losing to the Jets before this week?
I did not make picks, but I do remember when Sunday hit, I went, oh, God, I'll take the Eagles all day.
Yeah, I would have took the Eagles for sure.
Yeah. And the picks I sent in, I definitely picked the Eagles. And interesting side note, before last Sunday, the Eagles were the only team. Well, these were the only 2 established teams for a while, where the Eagles were undefeated against the Jets. They were 12-0, which is crazy to think about. They've both been around since the merger. They've been together playing, and they're not in the same division or even the same conference, but to have 12 straight wins over 40 years, almost 50 years, is crazy.
Yeah, that's not very many games overall, so that's interesting.
And on ESPN's Get Up, of course, you can't get through a segment of that goddamn show without Greeny talking about the Jets. Oh. And I mean, there is something to be said. They did get through the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Bills, and the Cowboys without Rodgers, and they're 3-3, and their schedule is about to ease up.
Well, they did. And honestly, they didn't beat the Chiefs,
they should be. Did. No, but they should be 4-2. They should have beaten the Patriots. Like, of all the teams to lose to that team, that's a team they can beat.
But can we really? I mean, believe me, one segment of the news for one of our Discord fans. I have a couple choice words about the Patriots, but that is a division game, and division games are a different animal.
They are. I agree. I agree, but the Jets have more. Well, it was earlier in the season too, and before the Patriots hit this skid are in 1-5. I think when the next time these 2 teams meet, whenever that is, the Jets are going to smack them.
I do too. And even in that game, I mean, Zach Wilson was pedestrian, but it was really again that defense is no joke. That Jets defense is for real.
Dude, shutting motherfuckers down, man. I can't be too mad at what Robert Saleh said about, that his defense has been shutting down every big quarterback they played. So
they really have.
I'm impressed.
They really have.
I'm really impressed.
So apparently, pregame, Rodgers was out on the field walking around, no cane, no limp, no crutches, no nothing, throwing darts.
Yeah. So of course, because Rodgers will only let Pat McAfee interview him. He was on the McAfee show, and he said he's ahead of his rehab. And he seems to think, I don't think he said it, but you kind of get the impression that he could lace up the cleats again this year. What do you guys think?
Has that ever been done before? I thought this was like a year to a 2-year thing. So what the
It's never been done in the same season, but he has the advantage. He has two advantages. One is the injury happened week 1.
Yep.
And now we have a 17-game schedule, which means 18 weeks. So packing a couple extra weeks of rehab time. So he has advantages that previous players don't have who've had the same injury. If it happened any other week besides week 1, we wouldn't even be considering it. And I don't think it's realistic. I don't think he's going to play. And frankly, even if the man does play, what's Rodgers, aside from one magical run, what's Rodgers' playoff history? Choke. It's all been choked the whole damn career. So, I don't know. Maybe take my chances with Zach.
Yeah. And Lord knows what the landscape of the AFC playoff picture is even going to be. That's going to be a gauntlet.
Yeah, they eke in and go to Arrowhead, get blown out by the Chiefs. I mean,
well, we won't hear Bob complain.
No, I don't think they make it that far. I just don't see it happening. He seems to like just to talk shit, man. I think he's just saying stuff to stay in the headlines because even young players don't come back that quickly.
Well, that's Aaron Rodgers for you. I mean, from being on Joe Rogan, constantly Pat McAfee, doing his thing, being a prima donna, getting into a vaccine debate with one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. It's like, come on, Aaron, shut up. You're not playing this year.
And Kelsey gets along with everybody. Kelsey gets along with everyone. How come you're trying to... Like, I'm not going to get into political debate, but I didn't get the vaccine. But I'm not sitting here saying, fuck that guy or anyone for promoting the vaccine. Like, everyone does what they want to do. You know what I mean? And,
that's right.
You shouldn't judge someone... Because what I'm saying is he gets along with everyone. Most everyone loves Kelsey, unless you're just a chief hater. So I just think it's bullshit. And I liked him until then. I was like, who the fuck cares, man? That's a 2-year ago debate that doesn't even matter anymore. And I don't know. I think it's bullshit. But anyways, continue what you were saying.
Well, no, that was it. So that covers that. So it looks like Christian McCaffrey out of San Francisco. Word came out today that he did avoid a long-term injury. He has a chance to play Monday against the Vikings. I think their left tackle, Trent Williams, and wide receiver Deebo Samuel also have a chance to play. So they lost to a team that I don't think any of us would have been like, oh, yeah, Cleveland, fucking hell, they got this. It's a wrap. Yeah, I don't think any of us were saying that.
No, and the backup was playing as quarterback. What's his name again? I don't remember his name.
I'm gonna have to look up the game stats. To be honest, I don't.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too. But yeah, I didn't watch the game, but I was blown away.
You're talking about the Browns quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
It's PJ Walker. PJ Walker.
Yeah.
And he had 192 yards and 2 interceptions. That was it.
He was the backup. He was the backup for the Panthers last year, wasn't he?
I don't know. I've never heard of him. And
I want to say he played for...
I was watching the Bills game, and did you guys know that the backup is named Kyle Allen? I was joking, because he had to come in for a couple of plays. I was joking like that was his cousin that they had just come on the team.
But that's the thing. Your offense can be complete ass, which Cleveland's is. But before we came on, Sturm and I were talking about it. And this Cleveland defense, I mean, we thought the Jets defense was ugly. This is ugly on a whole nother level. So go ahead, Sturm. Tell Bob how many total yards they've given up for the season.
Yeah, so for the entire, they played 5 games. They already had a bye, but in 5 games they've given up 1,004 total yards, 200 yards total yards. That's rushing and passing per game.
That's
insanity. Crazy good.
My guess is that's number one. Are they ranked one?
Yeah, the next closest team is 1,500 yards, like 500 yards away.
Yeah, I mean, they've had their bye week already, which that skews the number by what? They're giving up on average
200 yards, basically. Yeah.
So they're
still
miles
be 300 yards ahead.
They're
way ahead.
Way ahead.
It's crazy. And the stat is something I saw this somewhere. It's like the third best start, like the third least fewest yards or something given up to this many games since 70 or something. I mean, it's historic defense they're playing, which is if they had a serviceable offense, and I guess they kind of do. I mean, if they had like a lights out offense, oh my God, they'd be the best team in the league.
Well, one of our listeners just chimed in. Just think if they still had Chubb, which that's a great point. If Deshaun Watson wasn't injured and actually played some decent football, even when he did play, he had some moments. But man, Nick Chubb just would have made Deshaun Watson's job so much easier.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no
Jerome Ford's doing pretty good though. I picked him up on fantasy, and he's been kicking ass for me.
So you picked up Jerome Ford?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well, that works.
And even though you don't check your fantasy, I beat your ass this week.
I'm sure you did. I don't check it. I discovered it's you know what it is? I never remember to check it.
Well,
I never remember to check it. And the games all the games have started and it's halftime and I go, oh shit, I'm supposed to play fantasy.
It's all right, buddy. It's all right. I just needed someone to fill up anyways, the league, but so the Niners got out of that.
So wait, we glossed over this. I heard that McCaffrey was injured, Deebo Samuel was injured, and Trent Williams was injured. What was the injury to McCaffrey? What made him leave the game?
It was like a oh my God, it was like a stomach thing. I don't know, suffered an oblique rib injury. That's what it was.
So did you guys see all like the people fighting before games? There was at least 2 games where the teams were warming up and they got into like huge fights.
Oh, some things.
No, I didn't see that.
I don't even remember who it was, to be honest. But there was 2 different games, and the game hadn't even started. And while they were warming up, they were fighting each other. People are throwing like punches and shit. Helmets are flying.
It's like college shit. Who did that? I can't. That's kind of.
I don't know. I wish I could remember. It was 2. Like I said, it was 2 teams. But anyways, one of them said, I think it was the 49ers game, because that's how they said they won. They said that who's Bosa? Bosa was over there saying things that a man shouldn't say, is what he said. Or people like him shouldn't say. So maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to say what he said because I don't know. It could have been something racist or something. But he said that gave him the fire to beat him. I saw an article or something like that. So that was I know it was one of those. But it was pretty insane. I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah, things between the Bills and the Giants got real scrappy too.
That was a good game, man. You know, I was going for the Giants, but unfortunately they didn't.
I was telling Sturm at halftime, when the Giants had some of the worst clock management I've ever seen and didn't come out of that with any points, my wife had a fucking Chernobyl-sized meltdown.
Dude,
it was ugly. She was she was absolutely livid.
Is she calling for Dable to be fired? Does she want him gone?
No, Dable was flipping out. You should have saw when Dable starts flipping out after that field goal, or they lost out on 3 points on the half. Dayball flips out. He looks over at the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator is like putting his hands up, like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I mean, he was irate.
Everyone's passing the buck.
Yeah. She is such a dedicated Giants fan that she still has no faith in Daniel Jones. She will never forgive him for that tripped touchdown run where he was hauling ass down the field and he just tripped over his own.
Yeah.
She'll never forgive him for that. And man, the offensive line is just so bad. It's so bad. But they did play the Bills really well. Their defense was keeping them in it. And then, of course, the last pass of the game. It's funny how those pass interference flags fly for certain people, but for others, they kind of go to the wayside. So, because I saw that play and just went, man, really? You're not going to call that?
If you have first and goal from the one, don't you want to hand it to Saquon Barkley? I don't know. An untimed down, one play to win a game. Don't you want to give it to Saquon?
I don't know, man. I mean, the Giants' run game wasn't bad. I mean, the numbers are misleading because Saquon had 2 really big runs at 2 different points of the game, but I don't know. Yeah,
but if Saquon can't get you a yard to score a touchdown to win a game, then what the fuck? I mean, he's not worth it then.
Yeah, the Giants are regressing badly. They really are. I expected much better things out of year 2 Brian Daboll than what I'm seeing, and I sure as hell know my wife is because I'm not hearing the end of it. Else here on the news. Colts nose tackle Stewart suspended 6 games for PEDs. Jesus, you think these fucking guys would learn?
What about, speaking of the Colts, it sounds like Anthony Richardson's out for the year.
Could be season-ending shoulder surgery, right?
Yeah, that's what Irsay was saying, and I don't know if you can take everything he says, to the bank. But if that's right, then Anthony Richardson's out, and it's a shoulder surgery again. Back to what we've been saying all season long, like these running quarterbacks, they can only be so durable before the wheels fall off, and it's sad to see because he was having a good year, but here we go. But Minshew mania, right? The mustache.
Well, he's been with their head coach for 2 years, so he knows the playbook. The only thing is Jonathan Taylor needs to explode.
Yeah, he does. I'm on one of my other fantasy leagues. He needs to explode. You're right.
Yeah, what's up with all these people getting paid and not doing a fucking thing this year? Because he got paid pretty good. I like him a lot. And I also like Gardner Minshew, but I don't know how much they can do, really.
I don't think there's really one. Let's see, McCaffrey leads the league in 553 rushing yards. Indianapolis, believe it or not, Zach Moss is there with 466. Then you've got Miami, the Rams, and Philadelphia. So it's been an odd year for running backs.
Yeah, it really has been. Yeah.
So guys, have you heard that? I'm trying to look up the stats as we speak right now, but Tyreek Hill in just 6 weeks has how many total yards here? I'm trying to find it here.
814.
He has 814. So he only needs what is that? 180 something to get 1,000 already. So he's
on pace. I think he's on pace to break the all-time receiving record.
Calvin Williams has it, right?
Yeah. Calvin Johnson.
Oh, sorry, Johnson.
Megatron,
Calvin Johnson. Yeah, it's like 1900 something, right?
He was such a.
No one's ever gone over 2,000. I don't think any receiver's gone over 2,000. I think he's got the most.
Really? Okay. So I just thought that was interesting, little tidbit. That he's having a historic year as well.
Well, that is. I mean, that offense is ridiculous. They were down 14-0, and
yep.
I think I messaged you guys. I was like, "What's going on in Miami?" And then you turn around, it's like 28-14, and you're like, "Holy shit!" But I heard, did A-Chain get hurt, or A-Chain, or however you say his name?
And I picked him up too, man, and he was fucking going crazy on people. But yeah, he got hurt. I don't know how long he's out for.
What's the status? What's the injury and the status? I don't know.
I don't even know where I would go to find that out, to be honest.
I got it.
That could be a big loss. I mean, I don't know who their other running backs are. Oh, they got Mostert.
I was just saying, Mostert was a beast in 49ers, and when anytime I see him available in fantasy, I pick him up. So I have him as well in all my leagues, and he's kicking ass, man.
You're talking about Miami, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, Devon A-Chain, or A-Chain. I don't know how you say it.
He's on injured reserve. Ooh. 4 games on injured reserve, like to be activated ahead of the Week 11 against the Raiders on November 19th.
Perfect.
You're welcome there.
Yeah, bring him back right for the Raiders. Sweet.
Yep.
Damn.
What
The Dolphins ranks are 316 yards passing per game first, 181 yards rushing yards per game first, 37 points per game first. Man, that offense is crazy good.
Yeah, but you know what? Is this kind of offensive firepower as we get into the dog days of football and the cold and bad weather? Is this sustainable?
Well, if they get home field advantage and they're in Miami, I mean, yeah.
I kind of with you. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I do think that it's going to slow down for them.
But who have they really played? What a I mean, they haven't really actually really played anybody yet. They lost to the Bills.
Well, next week they're at Philly, so that'll be maybe one of their first tests.
But you're
right.
Wrong. You're not wrong. They played Chargers, Patriots, Broncos, lost to the Bills, which is the only good team they've played, and they played the Giants and the Panthers.
Who have they played? I mean, no wonder. Yeah. I mean, if we look at these numbers, while these are very talented offensive weapons, I mean, Tyreek Hill, good night. But who have they? I mean, it's again, as the season grinds on, and you still got another game against Buffalo. You got more with the Jets, Patriots. Nah. But
so I'm looking at their schedule right now. They only have 3 road games at the end of the year. Well, of their 5 games, their 5 final games, 4 of them are at home, which is what an advantage that is. And then for the rest of the year, they only have 3 potential cold weather games: at Washington on December 3rd, at the Jets November 24th, and at Baltimore December 31st. But their schedule is really favorable. I think they're gonna, if they have 3 or 4, if they have more than 3 losses, I think I'll be surprised.
They need to get and when they get Jalen Ramsey back, that's just gonna add a much needed element to that defense.
For sure, yeah, they'll be interesting. But I've seen some amazing offenses over the years, and when they get to the playoffs, they'll disappoint you every time. It's just like, I don't know. It's almost like a curse being the number 1 team.
How about this? They play the Chiefs in the international series. I think this is a Germany game. It must be.
Yep.
9:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
Dolphins and Chiefs. That's going to be a hell of a game.
Ooh, Dolphins and Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a good international one. They're getting pretty big internationally. NFL is. So,
so I said I had a little take on New England. Another piece of the news because I was thinking about this. So I believe Rex Ryan was quoted, pretty much just laid it out there. They suck. He literally said on live air, they suck.
He's taking a hot take, right? He's going out on a limb with that one.
Yeah, and he's not wrong. I mean, I thought the Steelers' offense was bad. I mean, we have seen we have seen 2 of the worst losses now under Bill Belichick's belt, and they were both back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
He benched Mac Jones twice.
Are they tanking?
I mean, well,
maybe he just needs that quarterback. Because I mean, their defense isn't great, but
there's 0 chance Bill Belichick is tanking. 0 chance.
He's cheated so many times. No. I wouldn't put. Everyone holds him as like a prestigious guy. I think he'd do anything to win. And obviously,
yeah. Well, what he would lose to win? I don't understand that. He's not. He might not be around next year.
I don't get the whole tanking thing either. I agree with just in general the tanking thing, but I mean, my God, dude, like he was saying, they're fucking terrible.
And I watched the whole game because they played the Raiders this last week. Mm-hmm. They're trying to win. I mean, there's no question they're trying. There's no giving up there. And they played hard against the Raiders, and they had opportunities. They could have won that game. And it's just Mac Jones, man. He threw at least 1 horrible interception. He was rolling right, and what do you do? What are you not supposed to do when you roll right? Throw to your left, and that's exactly what he did. He missed the receiver by like 10 yards to a Raider just standing
Jones
there.
Has no arm. You ever seen him pass a ball? It floats elegantly through the air.
Well, that was a terrible decision, a terrible throw, and it cost them points. And
Well,
and we had and Jimmy G got hurt, so we had Brian Hoyer play the entire second half, and we still won.
Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt again?
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
No, I know. I was being very sarcastic. I know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. When they said when I heard that the Raiders got Jimmy Garoppolo, I was like, well, we don't have to worry about anything for another year. I know when it's your team, you want no matter who it is to fucking do good. I had Matt Castle for 5 years, but fucking he's not the one, man. I don't know what they need to do, but also Derek Carr isn't doing good either. So
yeah,
he's doing pretty bad with the Saints. So I don't know, man, but hopefully they can draft somebody. And then
while I don't think Belichick is tanking, I will say one thing. Two things need to happen in New England right now. They need to dump, and I mean dump for draft capital right now. Dump it all. Dump Juju Smith-Schuster. Dump some other people, and then go to the practice squad and write this fucking season off. At 1-5 in the AFC with Mac Jones, you are not like the season is over for Patriot fans. That's my hot take.
Yeah, not it's over.
It's over. It's done. This team has no offense. No offense.
Should they dump Judon, Matthew Judon?
I mean, it's a possibility. The thing is,
he's their
when
best
they dump,
defender. He's really good. Yeah, so I don't know.
They need to not let Belichick draft this upcoming year. I mean, you look at the last draft. I mean, it was 3 offensive linemen and a kicker. Those are their big splashes in the draft.
Is it time for Belichick to hang it up? Is he done?
I think it is.
Yes.
I think it is.
It always has been. It's just been Brady prolonging his career. It's always been time.
He's like, no, you know what? I'm so fucking good that I can. He may not be Tom, but I can get a quarterback in here for us to at least compete. And every year, Mac Jones has gotten worse. And you're right. Some of the decisions he makes, you don't even want to scratch your head. You just want to put it through a brick wall.
Yeah.
You're just like, what are you doing? So that's my take on the Patriots. That team is a dumpster fire. They are terrible. And I predicted it in the beginning of the season, and some people were like, what? Like, yeah, this team will finish in the basement of the AFC East.
The basement of the whole AFC, probably. Who's worse than them in the AFC?
Right now, Denver. They both hold a stellar record at 1-5.
I forgot about the good old Broncos. Yeah. Okay.
They're easily
those two.
Yeah, they're easily forgettable.
But if I was him, I would just, you're not adding to your winning record to catch up. Is he number one, or is there someone in front of him for most wins?
Shula still has the record.
Yeah.
He's close to Shula, and Jack Daniels in the chat even mentioned Belichick wants to pass Shula. I don't. He's going to have to coach 5 more years, and I don't think they're going to give him the chance.
Dude, if you're playing like this, just retire. Unfortunately, and let Andy Reid surpass you, because he's the one that deserves that spot. He really does. He's much better than Belichick ever is or was.
Well, when you look at the chase for the number 1 draft pick, you've got the New England Patriots at 1-5. You got the Denver Broncos at 1-5. The Giants are at 1-5. The Bears are at 1-5. The Panthers are at 0-6, but they're not taking a quarterback. And the Arizona Cardinals are 1-5. They will be taking a quarterback.
Do we know that Carolina won't, or maybe because Bryce Young isn't doing great? So
they're not going to dump him after a year.
No.
Well, here's my thought.
No.
What's a draft pick? So why not have both of them? If one gets hurt, you have another one who's very similar. They're both similar type quarterbacks. They're kind of, they're trying to go with the Mahomes factor. You can tell with Bryce Young. He really isn't that. But that's what they're trying to go with. So I could see them, because remember, like Washington went with RG3 and Kirk Cousins in the same draft. So I could see them going, if they lose, going with Caleb.
Again, my only concern with Bryce Young is, for Christ's sakes, the kid is 5'10" and 194 pounds. All it takes is one linebacker to catch him, and that kid is going to be a grease spot.
Who are you talking about?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Yeah.
He's tiny.
Yeah.
But right. I don't think with them having the number one, or because Bryce Young went number one last year, right?
Yeah, he was number one for sure.
So being a first round draft pick, no, they're going to give that kid some more. He is talented. They're going to give him more time. So I definitely think Carolina will not be in the quarterback sweepstakes, but that kind of leaves.
You have Daniel Jones getting paid, and they're not trading him away. So they're stuck.
And you know what? Oh, my wife said something about that too. She was like, "Oh, just need to get rid of Daniel Jones." I'm like, "Babe, you kind of can't."
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You want to eat how much ridiculous guaranteed money you gave a mediocre quarterback.
And when Tyrod Taylor does better than you,
Dude, Tyrod Taylor, like that, I gotta tip my cap to that older gentleman because he was trying his ass off.
Yeah, but I mean, he's just not good enough. I don't think. Like you could tell he was trying and he did a good game. But I mean, I've seen Tyrod Taylor play. I remember when he first came in. He played for the Bills actually, didn't he? Who he was playing against?
I believe he did. Yeah, I believe he did.
Yeah, he was drafted by the Bills. He was traded or signed with the Chargers, and remember, someone in the medical staff punctured his lung when they were doing some treatment for him. It cost him the starting job to Justin Herbert.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a horrible story. Yeah, they did some treatment on him and accidentally punctured his lung, and it was crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I were them, I would just eat the money, man, and fucking move on because he's losing games for you at this point. He is not good and never has been.
It's not necessarily eating the money. I think they'd be happy to eat the money. It's the cap room that they have to eat. That's what kills you because you can't replace that cap space.
No, you can't because it's already spent.
Yeah,
well,
it's
what
gone.
I'm saying is bench him or whatever. If he's still on the team, just bench his ass or whatever. I mean, Tyrod Taylor played better. I mean, at least the guy could run. You know, I don't know.
Just a quick follow-up to our Bill Belichick discussion. Bill Belichick has 299 regular season wins, and Don Shula has 328. So he's 29 games away, which is about, if he won, he'd have to win about 10 games for 3 straight seasons in order to get there. And he's not going to win 10 games this year, and unless there's a drastic improvement, he's not winning it next year. So it's farther away than anyone ever thought. I think at some point people thought, this is easy, he's going to pass him, but I don't think so. And another side note, Andy Reid's at 252, number 4 on the list.
Oh damn, he's quite a ways though. But when you have Mahomes,
76 games.
You never know.
Yeah.
All
with Mahomes, if he can stay,
all we got to do is wheel Andy Reid with a in his wheelchair when he's 90, and as long as he's standing there, we have Mahomes.
It'll be like old Marv Levy out there till he's like 90.
Marv Levy. He's a good coach, old Marv Levy. Come on.
He was. No, he was.
So Jack in the chat said Belichick has 80 wins, 93 losses without Brady, which is better than I thought, to be honest, because he's had some really bad seasons.
Well, it was a lot of those seasons with the Browns, and then everyone forgets that it wasn't Belichick's genius who pulled Brady out and marched him out there. It was Mo Lewis knocking Drew Bledsoe out of the game in week whatever it was in 2001, and they had no other choice.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken a lot of credit for things. I always wondered who's carrying the team, Brady or Belichick, and it's always been. I think it's been a conversation for years. And then he left and won a Super Bowl, and then
a combination of both, but it definitely wasn't 50-50.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that but for Brady, Belichick wouldn't be the super genius everyone wants to paint him as.
But the Mac Jones project needs to be over. If you want to have any chance of competing anymore, move on from that guy. Let him be your backup. Trade him. Get rid of him. But draft anybody, because we've all seen his ceiling. And I think it's already gone. In the first couple of years, he was doing all right, but they just need to draft somebody else or get a veteran. I could see a veteran walking in there and doing fine. Get a fucking Tannehill or something, something cheap, and manage the game for you. You know. Anything else you guys want to talk about Belichick?
No,
he
but
sucks.
I do.
Go.
I do have an interesting topic that I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on. So, I was watching again. I'm going back to the Giants game. I was watching the Giants game, and there was a point where, Tyrod Taylor, they were penned way back into their own end of the field, and or no, sorry, Josh Allen was, and he drops back to pass, and he scrambles out, and a Giants defender comes around and hits him. Didn't hit his head, and there it is. Inevitably, there's the flag. One of the worst.
Didn't an arm just hit him in the chest?
It just hit him in the chest.
Yeah.
That, and even the announcer wasn't Chris Collinsworth. It was the other guy they have come on. He goes, that shouldn't have been a foul. But then later in that game, around midfield, Tyrod Taylor chucks the ball, and he got laid the fuck out, drilled. No flag. So regardless of the debate, we know it's been happening a lot this season. The debate on the rule of roughing the passer. Now, this past Saturday, the missus and I went to a bar to go watch some live music, and while we were there, we were sitting at the bar, and they were replaying Super Bowl 25.
Which
that's the Bills Giants, baby. Right.
And how funny is that? That as I'm watching this game, and I'm watching Jim Kelly take some shots, I'm watching oh my God, who was the Giants quarterback in that game?
It was Jeff Hostetler.
He was taking shots.
Sturm, you're like a savant.
I know my football, buddy. I know my football.
Yep. And
Phil Simms got hurt, and Jeff Hostetler took him through the playoffs that year.
Yep. And then you didn't want to be Scott Norwood in that game.
Yeah, the poor guy.
Did not want to be him. Anyway, so I'm watching quarterbacks get just cracked. Like, I think at one point, Bruce Smith came around and hit Hostetler so hard, he actually just laid face down on the turf for like a minute, and then finally, shook off the cobwebs, got up, and it just made me think, man, is the quarterback becoming too protected? Well, is it getting to the point where some of these calls are so bad that it's costing teams games?
But it's just it's which way the wind blows, because it just seems like some teams are favored, and I mean, you can kind of get into it. Is it rigged? I'm not going to go to the net because we're just a podcast, but like, it's just sometimes one team's favored over the other. Everyone keeps saying the Chiefs get favored, but I see Mahomes get the fuck knock beat out of him all the time, and no one calls in it. But, think about whenever Tom Brady played. If you looked at him wrong, they would throw a flag at you. I mean, you could go back to when Mahomes' first year, when we played Brady and the Patriots in the AFC Championship. There was this controversial call where Chris Jones, his hand, I am not kidding you, I could look it up again, his hand brushed up against his shoulder pad. That was it. There was no force or anything, and they called it. So I think it's just, there's favoritism, man, with a lot of things, and I feel like we're human beings. It's hard not to get caught up in the moment. So what's not to say that the refs don't get caught up in the moment either about things? You know what I mean? And they might have favoritism. They're fucking human beings. Yes, they're supposed to be neutral, but what's not to say that they didn't grow up a certain fan, or they like a certain person, or what's not to say Tom Brady didn't take one of these refs out to lunch? Not ever say to do anything for him, but just to be buddy-buddy with him, so that when it comes time, you feel sorry for me or something when I get hit. So I agree with you about the whole rule, but it's just whatever the refs want to do that day, and that's why I hate referees. Like, we have all this technology, we don't need referees anymore. It's just for fucking drama. I don't know. What do you think, Sturm?
Well, I always like to start by saying nobody's perfect, and I think that the refs try to do the best job that they can, but they're people too, and I think that many of the calls we see, especially when it comes to pass interference and roughing the passer, there is a degree of subjectivity to those calls where one ref might see forcible contact to the head one way and a little bit differently than another ref sees it. And that's just, I think, human nature. And I don't know how you can't fix that. That's just the way it is. Whether or not that they're too protected. I mean, there are a lot of rules. You can't do the low shots anymore.
No.
Like if you go into their legs, that's a problem. If you take 2 steps and hit them and just push them, that's a problem. Forcible contact with the neck and head, that's a problem. So the ones that bother me the most are when you see, especially when any other one would be a really good play, a good sack, and they like their arm will come down and like just kind of whomp them in the head, and then they call it as a forcible contact to the head or neck. That to me is the hardest one. Or if like they'll be like put their hand up, the defensive player put their hand up to kind of block the ball, and as he brings it down, he hits him in the head. And it's clear he's not trying to like punch him or hit him or anything. Just that's the way the play happened, and then they call it. Those to me are the hardest ones. If there's any rule, I would say that they should get rid of it. It'd be something like that, because those contacts are usually super inadvertent, but we all know it's trying to prevent concussions.
Yes.
And that's why they have it in there. And the quarterback, for better or worse, is the most valuable position on the field. And no owner wants to see their $200 million quarterback go out for a couple weeks with a concussion because of a stupid hit. So
I just think, in some situations, like the example I gave with Josh Allen, the flag was thrown, everybody looked at it and went, "What?" I think in certain cases like that, the play should be reviewed. And then it's up to the head umpire, the guy with the funny white hat, that looks at it and goes, "Okay, maybe all right, that's."
I don't know, but then it gets to be, it's subjective. It's one person. It's just you got all these subjective people. Some of those calls are like, well, half the people are going to say it's pass or it's roughing the passer, and another half are going to say no, it's not. So it's like, who gets to make the final decision? That's what happened with all those pass interference shit when they would review that, and there was no clear-cut answer, so it's best to just go with what the ref saw on the field and just be done with it. As long as it's applied equally to both teams on the field and all teams across the league, whatever. I don't have a problem with it.
We still learn nothing from the tuck rule.
Nah, the tuck rule.
Still learn nothing from it. Fucking refs. All right, well, unless you guys got anything else, I'm ready to get into the match.
I have one more thing I want to discuss with you guys.
Sure.
Are the Bengals back, or are they just kind of cruising, trying to get by?
Well, they have a bye this week too, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And
that is huge for them.
Time. Could not have come at a better time.
I watched that game, and they almost got beat. But Seahawks are a good team, better team than people give them credit for. So I think they were just giving him a run for their money. But I mean, he's looking better. When he throws the ball, I said this a few weeks ago, it didn't look like Joe Burrow. Now he's putting that zing on it. He's moving around in the pocket. He's starting to run, outside the pocket, all that stuff. And he's looking better. What do you guys think?
I said they have the bye at the right time. Give a chance for Joe Burrow to really get healthy. But look at their schedule the next 4 weeks. You got at Niners versus Buffalo versus Houston, which is going to be a tougher game than anyone ever thought. Yep. And then at Ravens, and then versus the Steelers, which is a divisional rival.
Yep.
And even then at Jaguars, and by that time they get to that game, maybe the Jaguars are 100% right, and they're going to be a tough out too. So, man, that's a tough lineup, and they could easily lose those games. So a bunch of them.
After this bye, their season starts now. If they want to climb back into the AFC, I will say their defense played really well. I mean, I think the Seahawks got into the red zone 6 times and they scored once. So that's.
Are you guys sold on Geno Smith? So, like, I just am not sold on Geno Smith. So when I hear a stat like that, I'm like, all right, is that Bengals D or is that just Geno Smith going back to being old Geno Smith from the Jets? I'm not sold on him.
I mean, Geno's Geno. I think you're probably seeing everything he's ever going to do. I think he's turned into a pretty solid player, whereas before, I didn't think he was ever very good. Didn't he play for Buffalo as well for a while?
No,
Geno Smith was a Jet.
Just the Jets.
Yeah, but I don't know where I was going with that. Just whatever. I don't have anything else
I think Geno Smith is what we always thought Geno Smith was. I I honestly, I think last year was a bit of an anomaly. I think everybody will, some players will have a really good year, and he did. And this is a new year, and they're facing some adversity. I mean, they're 3-2. They're still in control of their own destiny, but beating the Bengals was a win they needed. But the Bengals actually needed it more, and now that they're going into the bye, I mean, Joe Burrow still kind of struggled. I mean, he didn't put up lightning numbers against the Seahawks. Their defense is not horrible, but it's not like elite. So Joe Burrow is still having his struggles. So yeah, they'll go into the bye week. They'll retune, adjust some things, get healthy, get some rest, and then bang. What did you say, Sturm? The Niners?
Yeah, Niners are next.
Good luck.
Niners are next, followed by the. Oh wait, I moved off. Where's the Bengals? Here we go. I'll find it here. And then I think they have the Bills at home against the Bills, at home against the Texans, which again they're playing very well. At the Ravens and versus the Steelers. Steelers have their number most of the time. So, and then at Jacksonville. So if they are able to go on a run here, they definitely will earn it.
Did Brock Purdy get exposed?
Okay, here's my question: what teams have they beaten?
Who?
Oh, the Niners?
Yeah.
Steelers, Cowboys, everybody. Yeah, let's see. Where's my mouse?
I'm sorry, Cowboys are still overrated. They're not going to do what everyone thinks they're going to do. They about got beat by the fucking Chargers last night.
They beat the Steelers, Rams, Giants, Cardinals, Cowboys.
Yeah,
and I mean
they're kind of in the middle. Did he get exposed? I mean, they said that a million times about Mahomes. I think he's a great quarterback. What the hell's going on in there? Hold on, my dog's something's going on back there. You guys go ahead.
But
I do have one more question before we move on. I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard, to be honest, anyone ever say, "Did Patrick Mahomes get exposed?" I don't think I've ever heard.
No,
that.
he said Brock Purdy.
Oh, Brock. Well, no, yeah. No, I said Brock Purdy. I think he said something about, well, they said that about Mahomes once. I'm like, I don't remember anybody ever saying that.
A long time.
But, I mean, McCaffrey goes out. They lose Deebo Samuel, and it's like, all right, well, it's still the same system. You want to be an elite quarterback. You got to play through these moments, and he didn't.
Yeah, and they lost their left tackle, probably the best left tackle in the league, and I don't know how much of the game he missed, but when you're playing the Browns defense, you need every weapon you can get, and obviously they lost a bunch. So, and they barely lost. They probably should have won that game. I think I can't remember how it came down at the end, but they had the lead.
So I think
the Browns kicked the last second field goal, right? Isn't that what happened?
Last second field goal that they missed. It was a rookie kicker.
Oh, the Niners missed the last second field goal.
Yep.
Yeah, and they had 12 penalties, which was very un-49er like.
So if the Niners make that field goal, the discussion is, oh, look at these Niners. Look how gritty they are. Look how tough they are. You don't get any style points that wins a win and blah, blah, blah. And that's why they're the best. So, one field goal changes the entire narrative. So, no, he's not been exposed.
And
I heard that topic floating around. I thought that was a good.
And everyone has a bad day. Fucking homeboy for the Eagles threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Hey, what I do want to ask
a bad day.
One comment on that at the end of that Eagles-Jets game, if you guys saw it, the Jets had the ball because the Eagles turned it over. They had it at like the 10-yard line or 8-yard line or whatever, and the Eagles let them score so they could have another chance to get the ball back as opposed to letting him sit on it, kick a field goal. Do you think that was bad coaching by the Jets? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Is that ringing?
I looked over at my wife.
No,
and asked,
I know what you're talking about. I don't know if that's bad. That's
because I looked at her and I was like, oh, I guess that they're letting them score. So sometimes I see that as why people do that. I don't think that was the right moment to do it then. I think they should have.
Well, no, the questionable decision was this. So the score was, what was the final score of that game? It was 20-12, 20-14. Was that it? I think that was right. So Eagles had a 14-12 lead, and the Jets get that turnover. So the Jets could have, and they were well within easy field goal range. And the Eagles had 2 timeouts, I think. They could have easily just took 3 knees and kicked a field goal and left the Eagles with probably like 20 seconds and no timeouts. And instead, they ran a play, and the Eagles let them score the touchdown because they knew even with 8 points, it would be a 6-point swing, and they'd get the ball back, their timeouts, go down the field. They could go down the field and score a touchdown. Now, of course, they didn't, but they could have. They at least had the opportunity. Whereas if the Jets had taken knees, they basically would have just ended the game. And I think that Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, made a mistake. He should have taken the knees. That's what I think. I was curious what you guys thought.
Yeah, I mean, let's say he did that and they lost the game. I mean, again, it's kind of like the whole.
Yeah, it's all about playing odds, right? They could miss the field goal. You're right. It's not guaranteed.
I think somebody was probably in his ear about analytics and said, if we score a touchdown, our odds go up dramatically. Maybe. So, no, I don't know if that's bad coaching. I don't know.
All right,
I mean,
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Bob. What do you got?
Do you guys want to move on? 'Cause I have one more thing before we go under our picks that I want to ask.
Oh yeah, go ahead. One more hot take.
I'm stepping away for just a minute, guys. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay, bud. So my question is, it's kind of a hot take, but it's kind of a cool thing to talk about. Is CJ Stroud worth talking about being in the MVP run as of today? You know what I'm saying? Where he's at right now. He's number 4 overall in the NFL amongst quarterbacks with yards. That's ahead of Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's 17, Joe Burrow's 18. So would it be too crazy to think that C.J. Stroud could possibly, if he continues on what he's doing, become an MVP? No matter what the I don't know what matters. Does it matter how many wins they get, or is it all about stats?
Well, for MVP for the league, it also has to do with wins. I mean, 100%.
I mean, the Texans are 3-3. I mean, could be worse.
Yeah, they're 3-3, but I mean, his completion percentage is only at 59.6. I mean, his rating's good, but again, they're 3-3. He's thrown 9 touchdowns to 1 interception. I mean, he's not like rushing the ball and scoring a ball. He's not a one-man show. I mean, the Texans are playing really good team football. So no, I don't think his numbers warrant him being in that conversation yet.
What would he have to do to get MVP? Do you think he just needs to make the playoffs? I think that'd be enough. If he made the playoffs and he was top 3, stat-wise, would you think it'd be worthy? I know it's a little early to talk about MVP, but it was another thing I heard, a conversation.
I know. One sports show I listened to or watched, somebody had said something about, it was Brock Purdy in the conversation. I'm like, it is way too early to be having this talk.
I know.
It really is. I mean, I don't even start doing the debate about MVP till at least we're 75% of the season in. Then I think those conversations are warranted. I mean, I think he's got a shot. I mean, C.J. Stroud, he's doing things that nobody thought he was going to do this year.
And like
nobody thought about C.J. Stroud as MVP or Rookie of the Year.
I mean, now Rookie of the Year, 100%, he's in that conversation. But again, I don't think his numbers warrant even an MVP. Like, no, like I'm not there yet.
Okay.
What if Houston wins that division?
That's what I said. I think if he's top 3 quarterback stat wise and they make the playoffs, they don't have to win any. If they can just make the playoffs, I would give it to him.
They're definitely doing good. 3-3. That's impressive.
Unless Mahomes is up there, then no, fuck that guy.
Mahomes.
But he's not playing that great either. The Chiefs offensively are pretty average, but their defense is playing amazing. But I don't see
MVP Max Crosby, and book it, guys. He's winning it this year. That guy,
Max
we'd have no
Crosby.
defense or no team without Max Crosby.
Well, here's another thing to think about. None of the quarterbacks, any of them are doing that amazing. So if Tyreek Hill gets 2K, would he become MVP?
Well, I'd say Tua is doing pretty goddamn good.
Tua, yeah, but if his wide receiver gets for the first time ever gets 2,000 yards, that might be why.
All right, has a receiver ever won the MVP award?
I don't.
I think Jerry Rice might have won it once.
Jerry Rice won it. Yeah.
Other than that, maybe Calvin Johnson. I don't think so though, or Randy Moss. I gotta look now.
I do agree with chat that Taylor Swift should be the MVP, along with Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we're going to start a Taylor Swift watch on the show, so you guys be ready.
The last non-quarterback to win it was Adrian Peterson in 2012.
That makes sense, though.
I remember that. Now he's dancing with the stars. How sad.
Man, I don't think a wide receiver has ever won it. I'm looking. Yeah. My favorite MVP winner of all time, kicker Mark Mosley for the Redskins in 1982. It just blows my mind. Yeah.
A fucking kicker that I've never even heard of.
Kicker.
Interesting.
Won the MVP award. And it was a strike-shortened year. The Redskins won the Super Bowl that year. And I guess the guy was lights out in field goals. But to win the MVP, it's insane.
That was the year they beat the Bills. I think.
No, that was the year they beat the Dolphins. That was 82.
That's crazy.
Yep. Yeah, no wide receivers ever won it that I can see.
All right, well, it's a little early to talk about it, but it's something to think about. My eye is on Tyreek Hill and C.J. Stroud.
Man, I wasn't even going to bring up the MVP topic till like December.
Come on, we got to come up with fun things to talk about, just like the pros do.
Yeah, that's fun.
And, I like Bad Panda, no, you didn't miss Lions talk. We're gonna cover that game because I think that's the game of the week, right there. Is that Lions game?
God, here we go.
I'm sorry. I've been hyping up the Detroit Lions all year, and you know what? I have not been let down yet. That team is not only good. The scary thing is they're getting better. They're getting a lot better, and their defense is ugly. But we will get to that. All right, so let's get into the picks, gentlemen. So our Thursday night contest on Amazon Prime. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars against New Orleans Saints. What do we think? What do we know? Who do we like?
Who's going first this week? Because we didn't really have picks. So
didn't.
Just Sturmy.
Bones go first. Because Bones has never gone first. Let's have Bones go first.
New Orleans always lose, so
New Orleans is favored by 1 point. It's in New Orleans. Over under is 40. So what do you think, Bob?
I just feel like whatever I think this one's going to be, it's going to be the opposite. That's just how it goes with my. I would always think New Orleans Saints, for no real reason at all, because I think both these teams are pretty bad. I'm just going with experience. I think Saints have a better defense, and I think they have a better quarterback. He hasn't been doing much, but surely they can come up with something against these guys, because I haven't seen any kind of highlight from Carolina at all.
Jaguars.
Oh, it's the Jaguars. I'm sorry. I thought you said Carolina. No, then I completely turned that around. Jaguars. No, for sure. I mean, Jaguars they're one of the better teams in the league now. And that's not the case for the Saints. There's always an upset every week, but I don't think it's going to be this game. It'll be Jaguars.
All right, I'll take second. So, funny thing about the Jags is it's not like they have a bunch of stars on defense, but they are tied second for the most takeaways in the league at 11. That's some pretty opportunistic football, if you ask me. I think Trevor Lawrence is finally starting to hit his stride. They had some early season struggles, but that was a very impressive win against Buffalo in London. And they did beat a division rival 37-20. So it's not like they just beat them. They beat them. And against the Saints team, which, I mean, they're they're just gonna. I mean, that division is still kind of wide open, but they haven't. The Saints haven't really done anything to make me go, oh yeah, I believe in the Saints for this game. So yeah, I got the Jags for this one.
Also, real quick, I just want to say Jaguars running back, small little dude, ETN. Dude is a beast. He's been going off every game I've watched with him.
He's good for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I have the Jags as well. This is a story of two teams going in opposite directions. The Jaguars have won 3 in a row, including beating the Bills. Meanwhile, the Saints have lost 3 of 4, and their only win in that bracket was against the Patriots, who are atrocious. They've only beaten the Titans and the Panthers and barely won those games. I think the Saints are vastly overrated, and I think the Jaguars are going to beat them up pretty good. You said, what was the line? Jacksonville by 1.5?
No, it's just 1 point.
Just one. I would take that all day. Yeah, Jacksonville's going to beat them probably by 10.
All right. Next up, we've got against the at Chicago Bears.
Say that again. You cut out.
Oh,
I did not.
You did cut out, yeah.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
At the Bears.
I'm guessing
Raiders at the Bears. It's Raiders at Bears. Trust me, I know. So,
okay.
Raiders. I'll go first. Raiders.
Yeah, I figured that. Bob.
Well, I'll give a little analysis too. You guys, we didn't talk about this, but Justin Fields is out with most likely out with a dislocated throwing thumb.
Yep.
And he may be out a long time with this if he needs surgery or he's got torn ligaments or whatever. That's always a little dangerous when you have a backup quarterback. They have a rookie, that guy who did very well in the preseason, Tyson or Tyler. What the hell is his name? I can't remember now. Tyler. Oh, man. Where's his name? I don't even think he was drafted. Baggett. That's it. Tyson Baggett.
Undrafted rookie free agent.
Yeah, he lit it up in the preseason, and I will say this: I watched that game, and the Bears could have won that game. He made one big rookie mistake. They were driving for the win, and he bombed it from the 50-yard line on 1st down and 10, and he just threw it in a double coverage down the field. Like, you didn't need to do that, dude. You had plenty of time, plus timeouts.
Yeah,
Vikings picked it off. Rookie mistake, but I mean, he breathed a lot of life into that Bears team, and they started to come back. So I'm a little nervous, but I do think the Raiders. I think Jimmy G will be back. I think the Raiders will win.
So Jimmy G is going to be playing?
It's looking like he's going to be playing. He went to the hospital for tests. I think everything came back fine. I don't know exactly what the injury was. I've been looking. I haven't seen too many reports about it, but that tells me if there aren't a lot of reports about it, he's probably fine.
That's pretty much what determines my pick. I mean, if it was Aiden O'Connell versus another rookie, that'd be kind of interesting because then anything goes at that point.
Right.
But yeah, let's say Jimmy G plays, and I'll go with Raiders too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Raiders as well. Las Vegas really needs this game. The schedule is a little light for the next couple of games, but it's going to get much tougher later on if I remember their schedule correctly. So yeah, I'm going to take I'll take Vegas for this. So next up, we've got the Browns at the Colts. Do we know the status of Deshaun Watson?
I have not heard.
I have not
Let's see
heard.
if there's any news on that.
I think he's still questionable. But I mean, the Colts are on a backup quarterback too. So, I mean, well, anyway, I don't go first. Bob does.
Just because the Browns have been taking it defensively, Indianapolis isn't just an insanely great team. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're just kind of middle of the line. They don't have their starting. Well, they have Gardner Minshew, don't they? I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough. I think Cleveland's defense is that good that can hold them off, and it'll be a low-scoring game. But I'll take Cleveland.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take Cleveland as well. I mean, Gardner Minshew and that Colts offense against that defense. Ugh. No, that's gonna be a whole world of ugly. Even with the status of Deshaun Watson up in the air. Yeah, no, I'm taking Cleveland with that game.
I could even see some defensive scores in this game. Something tells me maybe the defense scores more points than the offense does.
Could be.
I looked it up right now. Deshaun Watson is day to day, so we don't know for sure if he'll play or not. Gardner Minshew, I like him. I think he's a good quarterback, and he's one of those guys that comes in and he breathes a life into a team that otherwise is lifeless. But I think the Browns' defense is just too good. They're just too good. I don't think the Colts can overcome it, and I will pick the Browns. I like the Browns in this game, especially if Deshaun Watson plays. It's a lock. I take the Browns, but I think Browns win either way.
All right. Next up, we have the Bills at the Patriots.
Is this a division game?
Yes.
Damn. Because sometimes New England wins these, no matter how bad they are. Because I remember Buffalo was really good a couple of years ago, and New England beat their ass.
It isn't a couple of years ago.
I know. They're not any better. Fuck. This is a stupid ass thing. I'm just hoping this is like the upset that wins me next week. I'm going to go New England for no reason at all. Just for superstitious reasons. Buffalo in every way should beat the shit out of New England, but I'm just going to try to get an upset pick with New England.
All right, so I understand it's a division game, but when you look at the Patriots' offense or lack thereof, this is regression, not progression, and this team is going to continue to get worse. I know Josh Allen has had his struggles the last couple of weeks getting his offense going and getting it run efficiently, but that Bills defense is leading the league in sacks. They're going to put pressure on Mac Jones to make more mistakes, more interceptions, more bad plays. Bills run away with this game. I mean, Buffalo's favored by 8.5. They're going to beat them by more than that.
I can't wait till I beat you guys.
Bones, you're getting trashed in the chat there by Bad Panda.
I know, Panda. I'm sorry. I said that I would pick them, but I got to get up on these guys. They've been beating my ass every week.
This is has the look and feel of a get right game for the Buffalo Bills, and I've seen the Patriots had fight against the Raiders, and they're a professional team, and they got a good coach, decent coach, Bill Belichick. Yeah, he's good enough, but they just don't have the horses this year, and I think that. There was a story about Mac Jones in the offseason when he went to see another coach that was outside the Patriots locker room, and he was in Belichick's doghouse and all that. Do you remember hearing that story?
I do remember hearing something about that.
I didn't hear it.
I part of me it tells me that probably fractured the Belichick Mac Jones relationship, and we're seeing the fruits of all that now this year. So this is going to be a long-ass season for Patriots fans. And don't forget that the Bills, for years, got the shit beat out of them by the Patriots twice a year. So this is payback time. Bills are going to win big. I agree.
All right, next matchup. We've got the Washington Commanders at the New York Giants. Washington is favored by 2.
Washington's been decent. They've been more consistent than New York. I think this is going to be a good game for Washington. Because I don't know, but Washington's had a pretty gauntlet of matches, right? They seem to have been taken on. They played. No, I'm wrong. They lost against all the good teams they played and beat all the bad ones. So with that being said, I think that I'm going to pick the trend, and I'm going to go with Washington over New York.
Well, a big debate coming out of Washington right now is that should they make an off-season deal and bolster some of the needs of the team right now, or hold on to a lot of the draft capital that they have. I personally think they need to play this season out, go into next year's draft with a good idea of your rookie quarterback, and who'll be a second-year quarterback at that point. I mean, again, they could make a push, but I mean, what are you going to do in the postseason if you make it? If you make it. And as for the Giants, man, Brian Dable, I don't know what happened. Daniel Jones is supposed to come back this week. It is in New York. The Giants are desperate. So, God damn it. Bob, hit that siren.
Do it with your mouth because I forgot to bring it up.
Bob didn't bring the siren.
The fact that you had to say "do it with your mouth," I really wish you would have played that. But all right, you asked so nicely and sexy, so I'm actually going to take the Jai Bones on this. I think Brian Daboll is going to have one of those moments in the locker room pregame where his head just gets completely red and you see veins bursting. So I'm gonna take the Giants in this game. I think they're gonna. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna right the ship, but they're gonna squeak out a win against the Commanders.
This is definitely I think a tougher pick than it looks on paper. I think Logan's only picking the Giants because his old lady would kill him if he picked the Commanders, right?
She already told me she's picking the Commanders.
But Ron Rivera is a great coach, and I don't think the Commanders are a great team, but I think they're one of those teams that they're going to win the games that they're supposed to win. And this is a game where they're supposed to win, and I think they're going to beat the Giants for that reason. And I think that the Giants they're dead. They're dead. This season's over. I think they're that. I don't want to say they've given up, but it's getting to be that point, and I think the Commanders are gonna beat them.
Yeah, Washington, I agree, isn't a very good team, but it does seem like they're playing beyond their means. Like they're playing together, they're playing good football. You know what I mean? So that they're kind of playing.
They have a lot more to play for right now than the Giants do.
Yeah, so I think give it a couple years. I think Bieniemy, Ron Rivera, they're going to put it together a good team. It's just going to take a couple years.
All right. So we now have the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Interesting. I think
who's favored, Logan? What's the line on this one? This is a tough one.
Tampa Bay by 2.5.
Okay.
I think Tampa Bay is one of those teams that do really good the first 6 to 8 games and then they just suck. I think that's coming here soon. That's my hot take. Atlanta is just consistent. They're not great. They're not awesome. I think Atlanta will do this one. I think Atlanta will win.
Okay. So for Tampa Bay, they're not as bad as what people thought they were going to be, but I do want to pump the brakes because again, it's Baker Mayfield, and they've only played 2 teams that were above 500, and they were outscored 45-17 in both of those contests. The encouraging news, and the encouraging news for Tampa Bay is that their remaining games, I think if I looked at it right, 9 games they have left of teams either at or below 500. Now the Falcons are the Falcons. Their rookie quarterback finally lost his first home game, which I can't believe that was even newsworthy. Like, this rookie quarter, he's never lost a game at home. Yeah, well, welcome to the NFL. So don't even hold on to that kind of shit. But I am going to take Tampa Bay. They do run a pretty efficient offense. Their defense is stout. It's in Tampa Bay. They did lose to the Lions, but again, that was the Lions. So I mean, welcome to real football. But yeah, I'm going to take Tampa Bay in this contest.
Yeah, this one's kind of a toss-up. It's a divisional matchup. Both these teams are about the same in my book. I think I'm going to go with the team that's at home, and I think that I just trust them a little bit more. So I'll go with Tampa Bay.
All right.
Bad Panda wants to know what the over-under of Baker watching game film this session.
Geez, I'd say that's 15%, considering he doesn't really watch game film. But I bet you this year.
I think he and Kyler Murray are study buddies.
Kyler Murray, another overrated. Never mind. So overrated. Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore, surprisingly, favored by 3. I'm not
really.
really.
That surprises me
I know.
greatly, honestly.
Yeah. So, Bob, go ahead. I already know who you're picking.
Well, no, I don't. I'm just annoyed with Detroit because of the first, they were crowned the greatest whenever they beat the Chiefs the first day.
Do you have any Sicilian in your family? Because, man, you hold a grudge.
I don't know, maybe. I'm 1/8 Eskimo, if that matters. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Detroit. I think Baltimore is soft. They are a decent finesse team. They're fast. They kind of try to do the whole,
Wait, did you just call Baltimore a finesse team?
Yes, they're not.
Yeah, I have to call you out on that. That's bullshit. They're not a finesse.
That's not how they play ball at all.
Maybe on defense. Maybe on defense they play like that, but on offense they're a finesse team. Like,
No,
you know what I mean? They're finesse. Yeah. If it didn't have him running. Anyways, I don't see them winning. I think Detroit is a tougher team. They'll play a lot hard ball more than Baltimore will. And I don't see the old Baltimore was not a finesse team. This is much more finesse. And I just think Detroit will beat them. I think Detroit is good. Not as good as you all keep saying, but they are hard mouth. Detroit is like that's what Detroit is. The city, everything. They're hard workers. They keep their head down. They'll kick your ass if you say anything. So yeah, I think Detroit will win this one. I think it'll be by quite a bit.
All right. Well, as for a couple things about Detroit, that team is clicking. Jared Goff is having a phenomenal year. Good wideouts, good run game. Although against Tampa Bay, they were running for less than 2 yards a carry. They normally dominate up front, but they didn't in this game. Jared Goff did get sacked 3 times, but they still won 20-6. And the Lions are the only team left in the NFL that have not allowed a 100-yard rusher. So that defensive front is filthy. That is a run-stopping machine. And what does Baltimore like to do in times of crisis? Or I'm sorry, what does Lamar Jackson sometimes like to do in times of crisis? Run. So I think not only does the Lions win this game, but I think they hold Baltimore to, again, under 100 yards rushing. I think Lamar Jackson has a shit day at the office, and Detroit runs away with this game convincingly.
I agree.
Well, gentlemen, I will disagree with both of you on this one.
No
shit. I think this is going to be one of those old-fashioned, 3 yards and a cloud of dust game. Because I do think that, this is a team that's not allowed a 100-yard rusher, but that's what Baltimore likes to do. And I think it's going to be like a 13-10 kind of game when all is said and done. But I do think Baltimore will. This is one of those games where Detroit is still learning to be, the big dog, still learning to win the game, still learning to be the champ kind of thing. Whereas Baltimore has been there, done that. And that little edge of experience is going to be enough to make the difference. I see them in 13-10. So I'm going Baltimore.
All right. Next up, we've got the Steelers at the Rams. Go ahead, Bob.
I was trying to give your Pittsburgh Steelers, even though I loathe them, I was trying to give them some love this year, but they just haven't been doing much. Los Angeles has a decent offense. They have Pakua or whatever. They have Cup coming back. Yep.
Puka.
I mean, I'm sorry, man, but yeah, it's the Rams. I mean, it's kind of a given. Probably.
Don't say sorry to me. No, my pick's not going to be any different from yours.
I know. I just feel bad for anyone that my friends' team sucking, no matter who they are.
No, even coming out of a bye, I'm still not having a lot of faith. Although I did read an encouraging story out of Pittsburgh that apparently that game-winning touchdown pass against Baltimore, that the Steelers stole that win. Matt Canada had called something else, and Kenny Pickett saw something and went for it. And it was kind of confirmed when you looked in the box, the offensive coordinator box came, and everyone in the staff room was cheering, and Matt Canada was just sitting there, just staring at the screen, doing what he was doing. So again, I have zero faith in Matt Canada's offensive scheme of his philosophy in moving the football. Our defense is getting tired because we're constantly on the field because all the Pittsburgh offense does is 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. I think Najee Harris needs to have a reduced role. I think Jalen Warren needs to start taking some more snaps because he's a little more opportunistic. We are getting Pat Freiermuth back. That is good news. We're getting a couple pieces of our defense back. Charles Johnson is going to be back. That's huge for Pittsburgh. That's another veteran wideout that we needed, a great pass catcher. But man, the Rams, Cooper Kupp is back. Puka Nacua just catches damn near almost everything. So yeah, I'm taking the Rams in this contest as well.
Well, I think I agree with you guys. I'm going to go with the Rams. I don't care for Pittsburgh's offense. I think you're right. I think Matt Canada, I don't know if he's the problem or something else, if Kenny Pickett's not the guy. But there's something seriously wrong with that offense. If it weren't for the Steelers' defense, they'd probably have 0 or 1 win. And I think that the Rams have a lot of weapons. Though Kyron Williams is out, I think. He got injured, I heard.
Yeah.
That will hurt. But nonetheless, Puka and Cooper Kupp and, Matt Stafford, and you still have a good defense there. And the Rams are at home. So I like, though I will say this, I would bet that there are going to be more Steelers fans at that stadium than there are going to be Rams fans. But nonetheless, I think the Rams are the better team. I'm going Rams.
Well, Mike Tomlin's also 3-7 in West Coast games.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
can I predict a game to be tied? Does that count?
You want to? I mean,
I mean,
I guess
held.
There's always a tie every year, and I wonder who it's going to be and when it's going to be. Anyways, continue on.
All right, we've got the Cardinals at the Seahawks. Seattle's favored by 8.
Really? By 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Arizona's not that
Arizona's they play so hard. I'm surprised they're favored by 8, but I guess they have lost 3 in a row now.
Arizona's
and only 1 in 5. So.
Arizona's team is reminding me kind of Washington. They're kind of on the same level to me.
Yeah, they've definitely played above their pay grade kind of thing. So.
It's at Seattle, though. Seattle is the second loudest stadium in the world. In case you guys don't know who the first is, it is Arrowhead. And I think
it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Arrowhead's the loudest stadium.
Look it up. The Guinness Book of Records. In the entire world, it was between Seattle and Arrowhead. I don't remember who broke it first, and it went back and forth, and eventually Kansas City got it. It's the Guinness Book of Records is the loudest stadium.
Wasn't the Metrodome louder? Partly because it was a dome and
Sturm. No one's louder than Arrowhead. Look it up.
All right. I'll take your word for it, Paul.
No one's better than Arrowhead. So, Bob, who do you like? Arizona at Seattle?
Seattle. I have to. Anytime I can, I have to talk about the Chiefs, no matter what game it's about.
We're well aware. So, Seattle really struggled against Cincinnati. 6 trips to the red zone, only got 1 touchdown. And again, we had this conversation about Geno Smith. But it is the Cardinals. They've given up on the average 26 points a contest. I mean, I don't know if it's Caleb Williams tanking, but I mean they're playing. I mean you can tell they're trying. But yeah, I think Seattle takes this one. I don't know if by 8, but
yeah,
I'll take Seattle.
Arizona's had such a rough schedule. And they've played it well. They've played it hard. Here's another tough game on the road, divisional game. I gotta go. I don't want to pick Seattle. I don't think they're as good as their record tells us they are. But I don't think Arizona has the horses to beat them in Seattle, especially. I go Seattle.
All right, we've got the Green Bay Packers at the Denver Broncos. Now, this is an interesting line. Green Bay is favored by 1.
Hmm.
I just think Denver is horrible.
Oh, they are.
That's all I have to go off of. Green Bay isn't that great either. This might be a shootout. I don't fucking know. I can see Denver winning. This is a tough one. This is really tough. Look at all the battles of these shitty teams. Fuck, guys. Something's telling me to say Denver. But I'm going with Green Bay. Green Bay is my final answer.
Green Bay. All right.
Yeah, when it comes to quarterback experience, obviously you got to give it to the Broncos because Russell Wilson has more of it than Jordan Love. Jordan Love has had some flashes of some stuff this season, although I don't really count that win over the Saints because Derek Carr went out just before half, and then all of a sudden Jordan Love decided to start throwing the ball. And this for a game where neither team is going to be in the playoff picture, funny how these are the tough ones because you just don't know what team is going to be like. All right, I'm sick of losing. I'm sure Denver's coach he's sick of losing. He didn't come to Denver for this shit. Sean Payton, he didn't come to Denver for this. Although you earned that loss against the Jets for talking that shit, though. I will give you that. You should next time keep your fucking mouth shut, Sean. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take Green Bay with this one. Isn't Green Bay coming off a bye?
They are. Yep. They lost to the Raiders. They had a bye, and now they're playing the Broncos.
So yeah, I think the Green Bay rebounds and Broncos go 1-6.
Yeah, I disagree with you guys. I'm going Broncos. I mean, the Packers really are, like you said, a half of football without Derek Carr, away from being 1-5 or 1-4 or whatever it is. I don't think they're very good at all, and I think that this is going to be another opportunity for them to get exposed.
Bad Panda, you have a better chance of becoming a Chinese jet pilot than Rex Ryan joining that squad as their defensive coordinator. That man has got a cushy, well-paid gig at ESPN. Homeboy with his ridiculously white teeth ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, but don't you think maybe he wants to get back and he's got the competitive fire? Just maybe he wants to coach again.
I think he's going to look at that roster and be like, yeah, I'm a great defensive coordinator, but, I mean, what do you want me to do? Turn chicken shit into chicken salad? It's just not going to work.
Yeah. He's got that weird tattoo of, like, his wife with Mark Sanchez's jersey on his arm. Did you ever hear that story? It's so weird.
No.
Yeah. Google it sometime.
He is a weird
guy.
Rex, it's like a naked picture of his wife, and the only thing she's wearing is a Mark Sanchez jersey. It's so weird. It's just weird.
Yeah, that I don't. Okay, yeah, let's.
Is his brother still coaching? What was his name?
Rob Ryan. I don't think so.
No,
he is. I have no idea where he is.
He's still coaching. I don't know where he is. Is he still with New Orleans?
I'll look it up.
I always thought he was a really good coordinator. But because everywhere
he looks just like his brother, except with that Jerry Garcia hair going on.
He's the senior defensive assistant for the Raiders. I had no idea.
What? Really?
Yeah, apparently so. He's the senior defensive assistant for the Raiders.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yep. What was I going to say about that? He looks like the dude from The Big Lebowski. Is what Rob Ryan.
Oh, Rob Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next matchup, we've got the Chargers at the Chiefs. Kansas City's favored by 5.5. Bob, I'm just gonna write your pick down.
Yeah, don't even let me talk. All right, just move on.
Nope.
So first, before we start about this, I want to let you guys know that the last game against the Broncos was Patrick Mahomes' 100th game, and he won. So he has won 80 games and only lost 20 in his entire career. So I just want you to know that adds to his greatness.
I'm going to implement a new rule on this podcast, is that the longer Bob talks about the Chiefs, the less time we're going to let him talk about his pick.
You know how giddy I am, and this is like the last pick, one of the last ones? I wanted to tell you guys that the whole time. So yeah, Mahomes is the GOAT, and he will continue to be the GOAT. But with that being said, Los Angeles, Kansas City, this game is always down to like 3 points or overtime or something, and they know how to play Kansas City. So I've never taken these guys lightly, but I do think that our defense can hold up against them. Our defense is better than ever. Our offense isn't great, but I think Mahomes can play on Herbert's level at least and to get by. I don't think it's going to be by much, but I think Kansas City will win. And it's at Arrowhead.
I think the spread is fair. It is an Arrowhead, 5.5. Justin Herbert can light up a scoreboard. We know that. We've seen him do it. But that team is so poorly coached. It really is.
It's horribly coached. Again, didn't they go for a 4th down and miss it again where they could have had 3 points? It's just stupid.
It's just so badly coached. And it's been like the story of the Chargers. They get such great talent at quarterback, and they don't know what to do with it. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs in this game. You know, as long as you got Travis Kelce, as long as your wideouts don't drop the ball. You know, I mean, you're right, Bob. Their defense is well within the top 10 in the league. Their defense is playing very well.
Can we not show some love to Isaiah Pacheco? Because he's actually the highlight of our offense right now. That dude is going off every game now. It took him
you guys are definitely going more into the run game this year, and I think you have to. I think that's smart. But yeah, I've got the Chiefs in this contest.
I want to pick the Chargers. I really, really do. That's what my heart tells me, but I don't think I can. And it's mostly because I don't think that Brandon Staley can coach his way out of a wet paper bag, right? That fucking guy. Nope. So, I got to go with the Chiefs. Kind of breaks my heart. I posted the Rex Ryan tattoo in the Discord. If you guys check your Discord, that's his arm.
I can't wait. It's so creepy. Oh my God, it's so bad.
Storm, all right. You know who your guys' daddy is.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Wait till the Raiders play the Chiefs. We're gonna win this year. We're gonna win.
What week is that? What week is that?
It's coming up. It's like 3 or 4 weeks from now, I think. I just looked. We've got a bit of a stretch where we have some easy games coming up. We've got the Bears, we've got the Lions, we've got the Jets, I think, which who knows how easy the Jets are actually going to be. But let's see, when did we play the Chiefs? Let me look real quick.
Yeah, I don't think the Jets are an easy out anymore. I really don't.
We have Bears, Lions, Giants, Jets, Dolphins, and then Chiefs. The first time we play the Chiefs is November 26th. Is that the day after? Is that Thanksgiving? No. Must be that Saturday.
But yeah, like I hate Phillip Rivers, but I agree about the wasted talent thing. Phillip Rivers,
totally.
He was a great and never had anything to show for it.
All right, so the next big matchup, and this could be considered game of the week too. This is the night game on Sunday. Dolphins at Eagles.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is going to be tough to call.
This might be game of the year so far. You know what I mean? And it's at night, so that I'll be able to watch it. That's going to be fun. God, guys, I don't know. Here's my question to you guys: is this going to be a high-scoring game, a low-scoring game? What do you guys think?
Well, the over/under is 52, and I'd be almost tempted to take the over.
I think the Dolphins will do it. I don't know if the Eagles will keep up.
I just, once again, I feel like Philadelphia is maybe a tougher team than what Miami is. I'm not saying Miami's not tough or isn't great, because they are amazing. But we said earlier, the only good team they played, they lost to. So I'm going to go with Philadelphia. I think it's going to be a great game. What everyone probably expects, but I think Philadelphia will get it.
And you know what? This is a tough one. I mean, Jalen Hurts did not have a good game, and I mean, Sturm again. We were talking about it off air, I think, but Jalen Hurts just looked absolutely defeated.
He really did. The look on it was like the 1,000-yard stare. The guys from World War II who like saw their buddies get their heads blown off and they just stared into space. He had the exact same stare. It was like, I've never seen that from a football player.
And Jalen Hurts has already thrown more touchdowns or interceptions this year than he has all of last year. So that's concerning. So something is off. I don't know if teams are scheming better and maybe be figuring him out a little bit. But again, I don't like, what Miami team are we going to get? Are we going to get the Miami team that just comes in and just blows the doors right off you? I don't know. Philly's got a pretty stout D. Yeah, I'll take Philly with this one. I'll take Philly.
And to tie it to Chiefs, they have Jason Kelce.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going with the Dolphins. I think something is seriously broken with Jalen Hurts. And I think that the Dolphins are going to come in and expose them and put on a lot of points on the Eagles, and they're just not going to be able to catch up. Eagles are very good at playing with a lead. They're not so good at coming back from a big deficit. And I think the Dolphins will go up and get up early on them, and you're going to see Jalen Hurts reaching for stuff, trying to do too much, trying to be Superman, trying to throw the touchdown passes, and that's when he starts to throw turnovers. And I think it'll get ugly. I think the Miami wins big.
All right. So the last matchup we have on the slate is the Niners at Minnesota. San Fran is, even in Minnesota, San Fran is still favored by 7.
Okay, so is McCaffrey in for San Francisco, or what's the deal? Is anyone big injured for San Fran?
It looks like all the players that were injured, there's a very good possibility they will all play on Sunday.
I mean, I could see Minnesota pulling this off. Of course, we're all going to say most likely San Francisco does it. If everyone's healthy, though, I don't see Minnesota doing it. Minnesota's kind of sputtering out. I think that team's getting old. I think they're very, very soon they're going to need to be in a complete rebuild mode. So I don't see Minnesota going anywhere anytime soon. So yeah, 49ers.
I can't. Without Justin Jefferson, I can't. I can't give anything.
Is Jefferson hurt? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't give any hope to the Vikings on this. I think the Niners learned a few things from their loss against Cleveland. I think they learned that they're not invincible. They've been winning a lot. They've been winning a lot of games, and they've been having a lot of fun. But sometimes football isn't fun. Sometimes football you gotta show some grit, and they should have. They should have shown a little more grit against Cleveland, regardless of how good that defense is. But I like the Niners in this contest. And with I'll take the points too.
What are they favored by? 8, you said, or 7?
7. Bob, you said Niners, right?
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna say Niners too. I don't think this is gonna be a particularly close game. No. Even if McCaffrey and Debo and Trent Williams are not 100%, or even if they don't play, frankly, I don't see the Vikings don't have Justin Jefferson. Their run game is not anything to write home about. And they really could have lost to a really bad Bears team who didn't even have Justin Fields playing. So Vikings are pretty much done, and I think the Niners are not. And the worst thing that happened for the Vikings is the Niners lost last week to the Browns. So they're going to be ready to play, and they get an extra day to get ready to play, and they're not going to lose. I go with Niners.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Vikings are going to be desperate. Even at 2-4, they are still alive in their division. But they're 0-3 at home. They haven't won a home game yet.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
I don't see this changing. As for the bye week, we've got the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Titans, the Jets, the Panthers, and the Texans all have the week off. So,
Ray Rock, what's up, buddy?
That is it, gents. Those are our picks. Picks are in. Anybody have some final thoughts on anything other than the Chiefs?
Yes, so I have some Taylor Swift
geez.
facts for everybody.
Oh,
I have a
my
top
God.
5. Let me pull it
No,
up
we're
real
not.
quick.
No, Bob, no.
I'm just
Bob, what's your favorite Taylor Swift song? Let's hear it.
the one?
And then will you sing it for us,
Yeah, you need
please?
to sing it for us.
The one that came out several years ago that hit number 1. I don't remember what it was called. It was something
Which
about
one was that?
It was something about a guy.
What kind of Swiftie are you? I don't remember what it's called. It was a couple of years ago.
I honestly I've heard a lot of her songs, but I wouldn't know it was her singing them if I heard them. I just had to be shown them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that song. But I don't know anything about her, to be honest. She actually annoyed me until she became a chief, and now I love her. But yeah, Sturm, what were we gonna say before I interrupted you with my Swiftie facts?
I'm headed to the Bears-Raiders game this weekend. I'm stoked. Woo woo!
Oh
All
shit,
right.
you're going to another one?
Yeah, this one's in Chicago. I'm excited.
Good. All right. Yeah. Hell
Good,
yeah.
man.
You guys may remember my wife happens to be a Bears fan, so
Yeah. That's right.
Oh, cool.
when we saw it on the calendar, we figured we had to go, and we both have. She has connections to Chicago, and I have connections to Chicago as well. So it was an easy decision and a quick, easy weekend trip to go do. So we're gonna go do it.
That's cool, man. That'll be a blast. I haven't went to a game in a long time.
Yeah, and I've never been to Soldier Field, so I'm excited.
No, that's from what I hear. That's a very nice. It's a nice field. So that'll be good.
I've always wanted to go to an away game. Have you ever went, Logan, to an away game?
Yeah. 2 seasons ago, my son and I went to week 1 in Buffalo, and the Steelers took on the Bills.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been, but I've always wanted to. All right, fellas.
So I had a
anything else?
newfound unrespect for Bills fans because, man, those people are fucking rude.
The Bills fans are? Dude.
Oh, yeah, man. They are not pleasant to be around, let me tell you. So
I'm constantly arguing with them.
I imagine, Logan, that you're not pleasant to be around when you're rooting for your Steelers. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I keep my yelling and screaming at the TV private.
Get a couple of what do you drink? Whiskey, right? Get a couple whiskeys in you, and then I'm imagining the Bills fans are like, "Oh, that guy was a real fucking asshole."
When the Steelers play Sunday night, I normally go to bed with a semi-decent buzz. Yeah. Wake up the next day with a small cloud hanging over my head. All right, gentlemen. Well, that's all I've got. Thank you, and thank everyone for coming back with us. So this is going to be the format. We're not going to go over each score of the game. If you're a football fan, you've watched it. You've either watched your gameplay or watch another gameplay, or you do the red zone, or you follow fantasy, so you know what happens. So opening each week from here on out, we're going to hit the hottest topics and takes that are going on in the NFL for that week. Then we will go over the picks as usual, and that will be our show. So that's it from me.
Yeah, I like this better. It went faster, and it was actually smoother and more fun. So I liked it as well. So, all right, fellas.
Yeah, I think it was a great show, guys, for sure.
Yep, as always, it's always good hanging out with you too. I look forward to this every week, and hopefully
absolutely
all our teams do well this year or this week, and hopefully I beat you guys next week.
We'll see.
We will see. We will see.
All right, take care, gents.
All right, gentlemen. Everyone, good night and thank you.
Peace.